I think it's so important that apologies come from parents when they mess up. You're listening to Squeeze Limes, where truth stings, laughs heal, and nothing's off limits. I'm Tyler, the daughter.
I'm Robin, the mom. And if life gives you lemons,
we're squeezing limes instead.
So grab a seat, open your mind, and get ready to laugh or cry, because we're not here to play nice.
We're here to get real.
Today, we're talking about apologizing well.
And in which situations to apologize in.
Okay.
There's certain situations that apologies, like you've said before, don't work. I'm sorry for not getting the phone. I'm sorry for running late. I'm sorry for...
Right, because if you do it all the time and then you're sorry, or apologies, or in a text, then it's not, there's no depth to it. It has no meaning anymore.
It's
if
not
you keep on
authentic.
apologizing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it becomes like an automatic cover. And of course there's times and places, but when we're talking about apologizing, we're in the right time and place. It's for situations where people have been hurt or harmed.
Right. Or if we know we've hurt or harmed somebody, or if they come to us and say, this really hurt my feelings, then regardless of what you think you did,
right,
this person is telling you they're hurt by some action or words that you've taken.
Yes.
So we're here to talk about apologizing well.
Yeah. So in one of our episodes, we talked about an estranged relationship between a mother and a daughter, and there needs to, obviously be a time and a place for them to come together. And it sounded like there needed to be an apology at some point.
Right.
So if you haven't listened to that episode, go ahead and listen to it. It was our first episode for Sliced Limes, a segment off of Squeeze Limes for our listener stories. So when we apologize, we have to be aware of a few things, aware of what we did, if we did anything in that moment, how the other person maybe perceived it or took it, and ensuring that you're apologizing for the things that you did yourself. And I will be the first to admit that I didn't know how to apologize for a long time, and I'm still working on it. I'm still trying, but what I've been told is that you should not apologize. I'm sorry you're feeling this way.
Because that is passive aggressive, and that is unwarranted and one of the most detrimental characteristics of a human being.
So when I always said it, in my mind, it was always the other person has their feelings, and sometimes those feelings are really tough to deal with. So it was, in my head, not a passive aggressive apology. It was, I truly am sorry that this caused you pain in some way. So I needed to rephrase it that way.
Right.
Instead of saying, I'm sorry you're feeling this way.
So just to interrupt, and I'm sorry for interrupting, actually, truly sorry. That a disclaimer is that most passive aggressive human beings have no idea they're doing it on purpose. So like you said, if people are saying, I'm sorry that you feel this way, I'm sorry that I've made you feel this way, that's different, right? So
I'm sorry you feel this way versus I'm sorry I made you feel this way.
Right. Is that different?
I don't think that's appropriate.
What's different about it?
I made you feel this way. There is no such thing.
Yes, you're right. So no one can make you feel anything. You are in charge of you. No one's more powerful than you, and you allow them to make you feel any way or whatever you come up with in your head. Like, they made me feel like small. They made me feel like I was being left out. That's not actually
It's not about the other person. It's about yourself.
right. I
It's about how
felt
you
left
react.
out here. Different.
Yeah.
I felt that I was being left out. Not they were making me feel. You were
Right. So
allowing
when you're
them
apologizing,
to come up with your own. You were allowing them to feel for you, and then you're globbing onto
you're
that
just
feeling.
blaming them for your feelings. So
Right.
that's why I don't agree with the apology. I'm sorry I made you feel that way, because that's not accurate.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No, that's passive aggressive. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Okay.
Different.
I thought you were saying that was the right way.
No. Wow.
I'm like, no,
That's
it's
a good
not.
turn. No, you're
Okay,
right. Now,
good.
now that everyone gets it.
Good.
Right?
Yes.
Good. So, okay, how do you apologize well? So, first, you have to take responsibility.
Yes.
So, if someone's coming to you, different scenarios, of course, and different personalities and people. So, this is just kind of general. But in scenarios that we could speak to, it would be that you are in a fight with someone and you become nasty, let's say, and you were triggered by something that had nothing to do with the fight, but your go-to is to be maybe nasty or pushy or crass or a cutoff.
Okay.
And so what do you think should happen next? If you're in a fight and you're just like, well, forget it. Like, just like, let's sleep on it, or I'll talk to you tomorrow or whatever, because I believe that apologizing should actually happen as fast as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
Within that day. So if you have to take the 24-hour rule, that's fine too, because you really have to process it. It just depends on the enormity of what you have to think about.
Yeah.
Some people do have to sleep on it. I know people that literally process their own work in their dreams and in their sleep. And they wake up with like, oh, okay, I dreamt this and this is how I really want to proceed. It's kind of cool.
I think that's amazing. And everyone is different. I think for someone speaking from experience who has anxiety, if someone's like, we need to talk about this tomorrow, and it's left lingering, I would spiral.
Right. So usually what I would suggest is that you need time, I need time. Could we talk at 5:00 today? I would try to make like if it happened at noon or if it happened in the morning, what I'm saying is that correcting it on that day is important and not waiting. So if it happens at noon and you say like, hey, I'm working the rest of the day, I really can't even concentrate. Can we meet back up at 5?
Sure.
I think that's completely appropriate and actually healthy. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I think I still would spiral.
Maybe, but that's your own process.
That would be my own
process,
thing.
right? But all those hours, you would then come up with something different, probably at every 15 minutes.
Totally.
Which is healthy.
I'd be overthinking. Well,
or
sometimes.
You would be like, you know what? That's not even worth it. Like, I'm good.
I just, for me personally, and I don't know if anyone feels this way, but like I would spend way too much energy trying to figure out exactly how to respond or how I could have responded or what their reaction is going to be. I mean, I just really...
But that's
it's my anxiety. It's
right. So,
I know that's unhealthy.
Okay, so cognitive behavioral therapy is literally going to the facts. So when you spiral and all these bad messages come into your head, like they're going to think this, and I'm going to say this, and then it's going to blow up and be this.
Right.
Just the first thing you think of is like stop. Just stop and then go to
the facts.
I think the easiest and the first things that we teach are the easiest fact to come up with is what is the date, what is the time, and where am I? So you say stop in your head really loud, and then you say, what's the date? So today is September 16th, I think. Yes, it's 2025. I'm at your house. I will not repeat the address, and in our studio. And that you keep on doing that. So it brings you back to this moment. So when you try to find all those things, and it's not a it's not a game, meaning you could find everything on your phone in 5 seconds. It's not like, oh, I have to think of it doesn't matter. Find it, because what you're doing is kind of holding your breath. And then when you find it and you're done with those 3 things, you breathe a little deeper, and your body doesn't know that. It's
So
just
you're
psychological.
just becoming more present. You're
On this
grounding
date.
yourself.
So if it's 11:05 a.m. and it is September 2025, if I'm thinking of what's going to happen at winter break, then bring yourself back to it's September. We're not even in fall yet.
Right. So you're bringing yourself back to the present moment,
Absolutely.
bringing yourself
and then your
back to
breathing
awareness.
actually is deeper.
Regulates.
Right. And also to regulate, you could do the 4-7-8 breathing technique. You do
What's that?
2 or 3 times in a row at the max. It's you breathe in for 4, you hold it for 7, you breathe out for 8. Well, that was good. That was okay. So let's do it again. In for 4.
I'm still breathing out. Don't breathe into the mic.
I am, so they know how actually you're supposed to breathe.
Okay.
So if you do that 2 to 3 times in a row, again, don't do it more
calming.
than 3 because you might pass out. You regulate really,
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
And so that's a beautiful technique. Okay, so back to apologizing.
Right.
After you spiral and like all these things. So at least you have a date and time that you are going to talk again. It's not out there in the world, because a lot of people in fights are just like nasty and like
So
hang up and you're done.
yeah. So
Then
let's
there's no-
go to a situation where you're in the middle of a fight, but you're going to apologize right then and there,
Okay.
instead of like waiting till later or the next day. Like if you're
you mean
in a
like
fight,
if one
or
person wants to apologize?
well, no, like not all apologies come from fights. It could come from like heavy discussions. It can come from disagreements and
Right,
arguments, or maybe you realized in that moment, like, oh, that was way too harsh of me coming off. I need to apologize for that behavior.
Right. Like if you notice it, just be like, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Because
Yes.
I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm taking all my crap out on you, and I've just noticed it, and this is it's not warranted, and I apologize.
Yes.
I have to put myself in timeout.
Yes. Perfect.
So, yeah.
It's beautiful.
When a parent, if you're debating a kid about like bedtime or going to school, I think the greatest thing I've ever learned is that you are heightened with your child, right? Or your teenager or whatever it is, and you're going back and
Or
forth.
adult child.
Or adult child, right? Well, not about going to bed or going to school, but back and forth, and you're like butting heads. It's like the greatest thing I ever learned, which was just the other day, was she stopped, the mom stopped and said, we are not hearing each other. We are saying words that are not nice to each other. And I'm going to put myself in timeout, and I suggest you do the same. And I'm just going to go over here. And she like
Removed herself
a little bit, and they met back up in a few minutes. And the kid was awesome and said, "Oh, mommy, you put yourself in timeout," and like because it was real. It's not just the kid that has to go in timeout.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. So
Well,
that boy, teenager, learned really fast that it's not his fault all the time.
totally.
Right. And so, and he kept on saying over and over, you put yourself in timeout. We needed the timeout. And then they had a complete, mature discussion about going to school. And then they went to school.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's wonderful. You just are so heightened that you're just going to fight till the end.
Right. And if you're like that in general, like your buttons are being pressed, it is so important to be self-aware and to know when that's happening. And then to be like, just like you said, whoa, let's pause
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be called a timeout because
Well, no,
I don't
right,
really
depends.
believe in timeouts,
No,
but that's
but
a conversation for another time.
okay.
I
But like, let's
think,
take space.
Yes.
We're not hearing each other.
Yes.
I'm just
Let's
going
take a
to
break.
remove myself. I'm not able to listen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not able. I'm saying things I don't want to say.
Yes.
Same thing.
And I think it's so important that apologies come from parents when they mess up.
Absolutely.
Because
I made a
that's
mistake.
how you teach your children.
I made a mistake. I am so sorry. I wasn't thinking, whatever it
Yes.
is. I made a mistake. I didn't do this right.
Right.
And I am sorry.
Yes.
Because you're human
Totally.
and that's how you teach.
Exactly.
And they
I
think it's the
that's-
coolest thing. No, they think it's the coolest thing.
if they haven't been exposed to it before. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, right, exactly.
Yeah. If you grow up like that, you're naturally going to be a person that apologizes appropriately because you've had that role modeled for you over and over and over again, which I think is so important. So let's say someone's in a heated discussion and an apology needs to be made without taking a break because you're noticing it right then and there.
Right. So that's what.
What words do you say? How do you apologize? I mean, obviously it depends on the situation, but what is an appropriate, not passive aggressive apology?
Well, so like I said, you know, you kind of stop yourself and say, I'm really sorry. This has nothing to do with you. I'm like realizing I'm saying things to you that are not nice and I'm sorry. That just right then and there. But that's different than I think people do need to take a break unless they're really noticing that they're like out of hand and you know, it doesn't have to happen, but sometimes, well, so in a scenario that you storm out the door, which happens, right? Which you know, that's also another complete, you know,
Topic for
episode.
another time.
There's no doubt. I don't believe walking out the door. I think you stay and you know.
Unless you need to appropriately remove yourself.
But then you say, I need time.
Yes.
I'm going to go this way.
Yes.
But before you do, I mean, it's hard to do when you're really doing this, right?
Right.
So say you're in the same room, in the same house. Can we talk after work? Can we talk in 1 hour? Whatever it is, but it has to be a date and it has to be a time that you both agree on, even though you're like, get out of my face. Like, let's talk about it later, but later at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Make sure that happens if you can. Now, if you are on the phone, which I think a lot of misunderstandings occur, or text, which
Texting
never,
for
never,
sure.
never just get off the text. It just is never going to work out. So it's a sabotage. Don't do it. If you are doing either one on the phone and someone's hanging up, how can you make that better? Most people then take to the texting and they're like novels and novels and novels and that's not going to help you. It never ever helps.
And
it gets it
definitely needs
out.
to
Like
be
go
in
to your
person.
notes, right? Go to your notes and do it.
Yeah. So I would say though that if you have a situation brought up to you, I felt this way, I was hurt, blah, 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 whatever it was, and that other person needs to apologize, how would you apologize in that situation instead of saying, I'm sorry you feel this way?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Don't say that. You'd say, I am so sorry that my words hurt your feelings. That was not my intention. I was angry. I didn't mean it. I have to work on that because that's uncalled for. And I am truly sorry. Now, most of the time, whatever the situation is that got you into the fight must be talked about also. So we're just going all the way to the end of the apology. But and we've talked about this before, the resolution of the conflict, even if you talk about it for 5 minutes and you agree to disagree, fine. But you can't just say, I'm sorry, because then it's not organic or genuine. You have to attach it to something.
Yeah, and I also think it's really important that you attach it to action items, whatever. I mean, depending on the situation, but if it's like you felt left out, like, I'm so sorry. That wasn't my intention. Next time, I'll do this, this, and this.
Right. Or next time,
if you feel that way and you
please tell
believe
me
it.
when it's happening, because maybe I don't know what I'm doing when it's
Sure.
happening. Just come to me. I'm like open, it's safe. And then you invite them into just tell me, because if that person doesn't know what they're doing, and a lot of times they don't, then let them know.
Yeah. Yeah. So apologize. Be the bigger person.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a good squeeze.
Of course, everybody needs one.
See you next time on Squeeze Lives.